In Kenya's Northern Territory lies a testament to the relationship between nature and humanity. Welcome to Marsabit, where the NaPO team, standing for Nature and People as One, is reshaping the arid and semi-arid landscapes through the transformative power of farmer-managed natural regeneration, FMNR. In this episode, we embark on a journey of livelihoods through restoration to nurture thriving economies rooted in community and nature.
This week we've been embarking with the NUCA youth teams here in Nature and People as One, Marsabit. And ideally we were taking the young people across two modules of listening to and understanding our ecosystems, but also storytelling, impact storytelling, to help them understand the importance of telling our stories, owning our narratives, and developing the skills that they need to better advocate for nature and restoration efforts in their communities.
Nature-based solutions hold immense promise in nurturing community-based economies. Through the NUCA curriculum, youth beneficiaries are empowered to explore innovative business models, creating sustainable value for their NBS projects. After all, conservation without financial backing remains mere rhetoric. It's the infusion of resources, skills, and unwavering support that transforms these youth-led initiatives into engines of sustainable livelihoods.
NaPO is working on FMNR, Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration, as a way of dryland restoration technique, whereby we introduce and train our community on how to conserve and restore nature through a program called RAMAT, where basically people are taught and trained to manage and protect the naturally growing species like acacias. Also to ensure that we have better fodder for their animals and for fuel and for their sheds.
Tumefunzwa kutunza mamiti kama wamama, pia wazee wako ndani, na si mahali moja. Tulianzia hapa kwanza, baadaye sasa tukaenda kukaribia ndani ya manyata kidogo, hata kufunza watu wasikate mamiti ovyo ovyo, kwa sababu watu sisi wafugaji tunatumia hii mamiti kama fence. Sasa hii tunaanza kufunza watu wasikate miti ovyo ovyo, kwa sababu miti inachukua muda mingi kumea.
Hatukuji mara mingi, lakini tukipanga tu program kwa wiki, siku 3 ndio tunakuja. Alafu tunakuja kupuruni hizo miti na kupaka rangi yasikate.
Ile hatua sisi tunachukua kwa hii rangi, ile mtu kukata mpaka sisi nafuata hata ile nyayo hiyo mtu mpaka ile mali imepeleka. Maana hiyo mtu imeenda na waka hiyo mtu fight.
From the tranquil mangroves to the resilient acacias, we bear witness to the transformative impact of NBS. Each ecosystem restoration project not only revitalizes biodiversity, but also enhances community well-being.
For us, we rely basically on what grows naturally, other than using other techniques. Of course, different areas have different soil textures and salinity. We rarely have rains around, so we really depend on the little rains that we have to ensure that whatever grows naturally, we conserve that.
Faida yenye tumepata inapatia mali yetu asi. Pia tena kuna matunda inatoka, na pia hii mamiti ni dawa pia. Ukipata homa unakata hii, kuna mamiti zinatolewa alafu unakunywa, ni dawa pia kwa mwili wetu.
Kwa hivyo hata sisi tumeona mzuri wakati na hapo naletea sisi mafuso na naletea sisi mkutano, sisi naongea na shikana, alafu masuri yeye mestoni hata nimeletea sisi mvua wakati mvua sija tarejea, sababu hii mamiti na furuta pepo sababu imekuwa msituni. Kwa hivyo nashukuru sana.
Sasa sisi kama wamama tulisema kwa hii mila yetu wamama sana sana hawezi ongelelea mbele wazee, ndio tukashikana na wazee kwa sababu hatuna nguvu. Ukienda kuongelelea mbele ya wazee tunaambia msikate mamiti, hawaoni kama ni kitu.
It is not just about economies, but understanding the pulse of our ecosystems. NaPO recognizes the wisdom of community elders, whose invaluable insights guide the path of restoration. Their active involvement ensures the preservation of intergenerational knowledge, bridging the gap between past, present, and future.
It is important for the young people to engage in FMNR practices because we are left with little knowledge. We are trying to incorporate the science and the traditional knowledge, and our young people seems to not really understand the traditional way that our people have been using. So we are trying to incorporate the science and the traditional knowledge of conserving the environment to just bring the concept of tree cover and also other tree benefits.
Zamani wakati sisi bado gundua hiyo miti iko na faida, iliona watu wengi nakuja, watu wengine nahama kwa bandi ingine, kama nakuja kujenga hapo, wanamaliza hii miti yote. Ilikuwa shanje ya ng'ombe yao. Shughuli hao wanakuja na hapo nakuja kupatia sisi hiyo maida, alafu sisi nashika kabisa, naona kweli hii kitu ni ukweli. Sababu kama mahali iko hakuna miti, mchanga yote naenda kama mvua inanyesha. Sasa hii nyasi inaingia tele. Hata hii mali yetu saa hii anakula kwa hapo karibu.
We also undertook some storytelling trainings with our media company, NB Concept, and ideally allowing our Inuka project participants to see the importance of storytelling, owning our narratives and telling our realities as it is, equipping them with skills on how to, for instance, take proper photographs, how to do proper filming, how to do video editing, and finally getting the video content out there for the world to learn about their stories and really interact with the impact stories.
It is so interesting to understand and to learn how you can use stories to harness the power of empathy and to have people be able to connect with the people who are actually in the grassroots communities who are experiencing the brunt and the impact of climate change and also environmental degradation.
Conservation is not imposing things, it's not imposing laws and policies, it's not imposing like what do I want people to do. It's really asking them, how do we do this? And that is something that Team NaPO has been able to cultivate and bring it out so well.
It is an inspiration to see NaPO working with the elderly in the community to restore the degraded areas. Through Inuka other study visits, this is the first time we are seeing how the elderly are involved in restoration of degraded sites within Marsabit.
Their mode of restoration is quite different from what we do at Big Ship because for us we do direct planting and it is easy because there is water during high and low tides. But for Marsabit, it's a bit challenging as there is shortage of water and scarcity of water, and the community has to use the FMNR method.
What really stood out to me is how you can really listen to the music of nature and dance to the music of its silence, which was so entertaining.
We aspire to also empower other communities around Marsabit to take up action in restoration through FMNR. We have been able to learn how to do storytelling through the Y4N curriculum, and it is an inspiration to see how youth are able to craft their stories and be vulnerable to tell their stories and inspire more action to other youth to also take up the work in environment conservation.
We had an opportunity to go to the field and witness firsthand how NaPO have managed to integrate the community into farmer-managed natural regeneration, which they refer to as RAMA or FMNR. So I think for us then what next will be, how do we scale how do we amplify this work, and how do we support the organization to ensure that the project is not only scaled to other dry or arid and semi-arid areas, but also that the communities foregoing what they used to get for livelihoods are able to get alternatives that will then be able to support them, not only improve their lives, but also ensure that the ecosystem within them thrives.
Having seen what is happening on the ground here in Marsabit, I know it is possible. I know that conservation is possible. And in our respective places, whichever technique that we are doing, whether we are restoring wetlands, whether we are restoring mangrove ecosystems, whether we are restoring the forest ecosystems, whether we are using organic farming or FMNR like Team NaPO, I know it is possible. I'm going home an impacted person. I'm going home a changed person.
We've been able to experience and explore the realities on the ground and the practicality of FMNR in practice, and the resilience that the communities are building while ensuring restoration is championed for and nature-based solutions through FMNR is achieved. And it's my hope personally that all these skills equip these young people with the necessary skills that they need to further advocate for nature, advocate for their communities, and advocate for the climate that is changing by the day, and that we know we need to take action to restore and take climate action. We do hope to finalize these pilots by touring our final study visit area, which is Friends of Ondiri Wetland, Kenya. So we are going to engage our youth and the communities around there on the importance of conserving and restoring our wetlands. And the particular module will be on NBS in agriculture and impact storytelling part 2. So stay tuned, and we do hope that this final module will be a case for us to finalize and show the strength in young people, the strength in our stories, and the strength in connecting biodiversity and nature conservation with youth livelihood enhancement, and the skills we need to further continue advocating for our communities, our natural world, and the climate that we need to be safer for future generations and the current as well.
As you conclude this study visit, one thing becomes abundantly clear. The bond between nature and people is unbreakable.